It might seem strange to gush over a cheap car, but the Honda Civic has won our admiration. Americans were listening to Carole King records when the Civic made its debut in 1972, when the initial Civic wheels were that size. It was an odd decade, yet a Japanese hatchback with a 1.2-liter transversely mounted engine appeared in a land of bell-bottoms and roller skates. The first Civic had every feature that every other compact car vehicles lacked. Welcome back to The Day to Learn. Today, we'll be discussing the reliable and economical sedan that has, over the years, won the hearts of manufacturers and consumers. In the automotive industry, the expression, all show no go, is a catchphrase for attractive vehicles that are underwhelming in terms of performance. To say the same about the Honda Civic would be regrettable. The Civic is a true masterpiece, and it appears that the PICASSOS of the auto industry were responsible for its design. While having a good appearance and operating well are two different things, the Honda Civic manages to please in both areas. How was it done by Honda? In the midst of a global fuel crisis, the Chevrolet Vega and Ford Pinto were rolling sacrifices, but the compact and efficient Civic felt like perfect timing. Driving was enjoyable, and that is still true now. Take pleasure in learning about the framed H-Badge lineage brief history, which spans its modest origins and high-performance adolescence. The legendary Honda Civic's status as one of the most dependable sedans available to drivers in Rainham and beyond carries on today. Through all of the Honda Civic eras, this vehicle has proven to be a reliable, economic, and excellent choice. Prior to the current Honda Civic years, there were numerous Honda Civic body designs, and each one drew on the popularity of earlier models. Honda Civics have received numerous honors, commendations, and excellent reviews over the course of its production. Learn about the Honda Civic models over the years, from the first model to the 11th generation of the Honda Civic. 1972 saw the debut of the first ever Civic, a somewhat sporty hatchback. Honda didn't launch the car as a sedan until later, in 1987. The automobile was still a long way from being introduced to Indian consumers. Later, the automobile had continuous modernization improvements around every 5 years. Honda worked hard to upgrade the automobile on a regular basis, and it came in both sedan and hatchback styles. First-gen Honda Civic, 1973 to 1979. The 1973 oil crisis and the new EPA emissions regulations from 1975 led Americans to prefer fuel-efficient cars over muscle cars. When it was first released, the Honda Civic was a huge hit and provided the company with its first significant footing in the US. Second generation, 1980 to 1983. The Honda Civic evolved with its second generation, becoming more like the model we know today. This most recent model gave a hint as to the future of Civic Si models. Third generation, 1984 to 1987. The third generation of the Honda Civic gained some additional size and added the Civic CRX, a fastback coupe with only 2 seats. These vehicles' fuel efficiency kept improving, and Honda also gave them a bit more sportiness. Fourth generation, 1988 to 1991. The Civic started to become a vehicle of choice for tuners who made aftermarket modifications to make it into a sports car as a result of the change's significant improvement in handling. Size and effectiveness were once more increased. Fifth generation, 1992 to 1995. With the addition of anti-lock brakes on some trims and side airbags as standard for all models in the early 1990s Honda Civic years, the Civic became significantly safer for drivers in Fall River and beyond. It also had a retractable roof and a lowered rear window to give it a convertible-like appearance. If you're still watching this video, don't forget to like this video, share, and subscribe to our channel. Press that bell button right now. Sixth generation, 1996 to 2000. Honda refreshed the Civic at the end of the 1990s. Albeit, these changes weren't as significant as those made to prior Honda Civic versions. Honda changed the game once more by offering a natural gas-powered Civic for this generation. Seventh generation, 2001 to 2005. After successfully surviving the year 2000, the Honda Civic underwent a significant redesign. Honda was able to increase the internal space of the Civic by replacing the double wishbone front suspension with MCPHERSON struts. As a result, the Civic was elevated from the subcompact to the compact car class. Naturally, the first Honda Civic Hybrid, which demonstrated Honda's aim to provide a choice of fuel-efficient options for its consumers. 8th generation, 2006 to 2011. The 8th generation Civic was named the North American Car of the Year. Honda kept producing the natural gas, SI, and hybrid models while adopting a different strategy for coupe and sedan body types. Honda started using various platforms for the coupe and sedan in this generation, giving them various driving characteristics. 9th generation, 2012 to 2015. While the 2012 Honda Civic featured a new design from the model that came before it, the 2013 Honda Civic was the first to keep up with the contemporary technologies like Pandora Internet Radio, Bluetooth, and a rear-view camera as standard equipment. Drivers had access to even more design and performance improvements in the 2014 Honda Civic Coupe. Regarding the 2015 Honda Civic, Honda has expanded the range of options for purchasers by adding the SE level trim and offering an amazing fuel economy of up to 41 miles per gallon on the highway. You should think about buying a used Honda Civic from one of those model years. 10th generation, 2016 to present. Even though this cherished model is long ways away from the original Honda Civic, it still carries the same reputation for dependability. The rich history of the Honda Civic continues into its 10th generation. In November 2015, the North American market received debut of the Honda Civic's 10th generation. The Honda Sensing Safety Suite comes standard in all Honda Civic body styles, trims, and configurations throughout this generation, as well as the first Honda Civic turbocharged engine. The Civic Si and Honda Civic R performance models were introduced at the same time as the most recent Honda Civic generation. 11th generation, introduced for the 2022 model year. The Honda Civic's 11th generation made its debut as the 2022 model and included some notable upgrades over its predecessor, including an increase in size. Thanks to its longer wheelbase, which is 1.4 inches longer than the previous generation, the new Honda Civic, now in its 11th generation, is remarkably comparable to the Honda Accord in terms of both design and comfort. The new Civic is also 0.5 inches wider than earlier iterations. The Honda Civic 11th generation has the same engines as the 10th generation, a 4-cylinder engine with 158 horsepower, a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine with up to 180 horsepower, and the CVT will be the only transmission available for the new 11th generation Civic. The shifter is now located near the driver rather than in the middle of the console to produce more driver-centric feel. The new Civic of the 11th generation is available from Honda in sedan, hatchback, SI, and Type R trim levels. The new Civic is an improvement over prior iterations. It seems more upscale and undoubtedly is a welcome addition to a car that is already superb. Few automobiles are as well known around the world as the practical car that assisted people during the global oil crisis and later became a pop culture symbol. Similar to how Kleenex is used to describe any form of tissue paper, the Civic is frequently used interchangeably with the term reliable compact car. With that, we come to the end of this video. If you liked our content, don't forget to give it a like, share the video, and subscribe. Refer to other videos on our channel, and stay tuned for upcoming videos.